Do that thing with your eyes. Let me see them lips. Let me give me face. Eyes, lips, face. Ay.
Hi guys, thank you for tuning in with me. So today I'm actually doing a review of a makeup line called E.L.F. I'm sure you're very familiar. It's eyes, lips, face. E.L.F. That's what it stands for. It's a staple in pretty much every drugstore. It's a worldwide brand. I mean, there's definitely a huge following for it. I've used it for years. I love it. I had a lot of products to do this video, but I did buy a few. I did go to the store. I had to get a few products that I didn't have in order to film this video, and I am gonna talk about the new products that I'm using and how I feel about them and how they work, and then also kind of give like a little review of each product. But if you want to see me get this nice glam look, all using all drugstore cosmetics, specifically E.L.F., then keep watching. So today I'm going to be putting the actual products on a picture in the corner right here so that it's more clear, and then I can also put the prices there. So I'm starting off with the Instant Lift Brow Pencil. And again, I'm just gonna comb them out, get them as tamed looking as possible. I use the color, I think I'm using like a darker brown and a medium brown. I use the darker on my little bald spot right there and anywhere sparse. And then I take the medium and I kind of do a little bit on the bottom. If it's a little messy, that's okay, because I'm going to carve it out with some concealer. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching my last video. A lot of people were so supportive and they really liked it, and it made me so happy. It was so nice. I always watch videos like this, like doing a full face of drugstore makeup, because it's affordable and reasonable, and I like to see what I can get at a good price. I really feel like drugstore makeup, especially brands like E.L.F., have really stepped up their game as far as quality. And you don't always need to spend, you know, $60, $50 on a product to get something good. Okay, here are the eyebrows. And now I'm going to take the 16-hour Camo Concealer. So I used the regular 16-hour Camo Concealer under, like, to prime my eyelids, because basically it's not as hydrating as the hydrating Camo Concealer, which I use under my eyes, which you'll see later. But I use a very, very light shade of the 16-hour Camo Concealer, actually in Fair Warm, which really helps create a canvas for my eyelids when I'm going to create a look. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now that I have the eyebrow carved out, I'm going to take the Camo Concealer sponge. This is the most amazing sponge I've probably ever used in my life. Would highly recommend this. I'm going to take the sponge and just blend out the eyelid so that I can create that flawless base that we're going to use for our eyeshadow. Now that I have my eyeshadow base ready, I'm going to go in with the Mad for Matte palette. I'm going to start off with a nice transition shade right here in the crease. I'm actually going to be doing a pretty glam look, I think, just so you can see that you can really achieve a nice glam, full coverage, gorgeous, slaying look with a drugstore product. E.L.F. has been one of my favorites for a very, very long time. Really, since I started getting into makeup. I was in school when I started learning about makeup. First of all, let me just say, when I first went to school for aesthetics, I really thought in my mind that I was like really good at makeup. And then I realized I wasn't. And I think that we all thought we were really good, and some of the girls were really good. I'm not saying that there wasn't, but we knew how to do makeup on our own faces, but we didn't necessarily really understand how to do makeup on other people's faces, which is a totally different ball game. Doing makeup on your own face, you really learn what looks best on you and what colors to use and the best like eyeshadow that looks the best on you. But then you start doing other people's faces and you're doing what you do on your own face on someone else, and it just doesn't look that good. You really have to study the face and learn how to do and cater to different like features that people have. And that's what I really would say that I learned when I was in school. What I did really was I would constantly do people's makeup. I would ask everybody in school. I'd be like, "Can I do your makeup today?" Because I really wanted to learn how to better and perfect my craft. And I knew that I could only do that if I had a lot of numbers, a lot of faces, and a lot of lessons, because every different face was a new lesson. And that's where I feel I really started to get better at makeup. I'm gonna go with a little deeper shade, not necessarily in the crease, but a little lower, because we're gonna be doing like a pretty full glam look, so we need to kind of make this eye really smoky and sexy. So I'm putting that really directly in the crease, not moving up much further than that. And this is all with a drugstore shadow palette. I mean, 10 years ago, you couldn't buy a palette with this much pigment from a drugstore. It just didn't happen. All right, I'm going to the next shade, and I'm getting even deeper. And I'm still working that color in. I'm still using like the small fluffy brush. Getting some more pigment here, pulling it in. And you can start kind of fanning it out too. And then I'm going to take the brush with no brown on it, put on a lighter color, and blend the top. I'm almost feeling like it's not deep enough, so I'm going to go into the last black shade and really put it on the corner of my eye and work it in. And if you can't get enough color, next step is you get a denser brush. When I say dense, I mean like this, more bristles, less fluff, and just work that in. Doing my first YouTube video was so like exciting, and I was so nervous, and I was like, well, I hope I do a good job. I hope people like what I make. I was definitely nervous about that. Okay, I'm taking the dense brush and a deeper brown from the same palette and bringing it underneath. So now I have a pretty smoky looking eye. And with the lighter shade, I'm gonna put it, the light shade I'm talking about is this one. I'm gonna blend it into the smoke that I just did. The next product I'm going to use, I'm really excited about. It's pretty new. It's the E.L.F. glitter eyeshadows. This color is Flirty Birdie. I really like to compare it to the Stila, whatever you want to call it. Their glitter eyeshadows. I bought this one a long time ago, so it's kind of dry now. But, I mean, you do get a lot less product with the E.L.F., but this is $5 and this is $22, I believe, or $24. So, I mean, if you want to save some money, I would grab these little glitter eyeshadows. They're so pigmented, they look amazing, and I'm gonna put it on this eye off camera, and then I'll explain exactly what I did. Now that I have the Flirty Birdie on my eye, it literally looks so gorgeous. It's so pigmented. I'm going to take the like medium brown shade here and just make sure that it looks blended. The sparkles look blended in with the rest of the smoked out shadow. For me, this is such like a surreal moment because I really watch YouTube almost pretty much every day, and I watch videos like this every day, so it's really exciting to be creating my own content and really talking about how I feel about everything. So here we have an awesome smoky eye. I'm going to do the other one off camera, and then I will be right back and we can talk more about some face products. So I just filmed a whole part of the video, but I wasn't actually filming. So I'm going to talk about what I'm going to use again. So I'm actually trying two brand new products that I've never, well, not brand new to the brand, but brand new to me. I've never used them before. I've already started using the eyeliner, as you can see, but it wasn't on camera. So I'm going to use two different liquid eyeliners today so that we can get a full review of their eyeliners, their liquid eyeliners. So this one is the H2O proof eyeliner pen in jet black, and it gives you the instruction to shake it. Now I did already start my liner, and what I did notice is that it does pull on the skin. It's not as velvety as it could be. So I'm really curious to see how it does covering this sparkle. Yeah, so it's dragging across the sparkle, and you can definitely see the sparkle coming through. So I'm gonna have to probably do a few layers so that it doesn't come through. On the area without sparkle, it is pretty black, as you can see. It's definitely not the worst I've ever used, but it's not the best. I like to bring my cat eye like a little further down into the corner of the bottom of my eye just so it doesn't abruptly stop, and then I blend it with some eyeshadow after. So this little point is not. There we go. Now we have like a nice cat eye. It's not my favorite, guys. It's okay. I'll let you know if it's really waterproof. If I cry later on. What can I say? PMS. All right, so I'm going to use their regular liquid eyeliner. It looks like this on my left eye, and we can compare how it feels and moves and looks. Oh, so because this tip is so fine and thin, it actually makes the point so much easier. And I really feel like I have more control with this eyeliner, which is usually not the case. Because the tip is so fine, you do really have to like fill it in and paint a lot of product on. And then the other task is trying to create two eyeliners that are identical. That's the hardest. And I gave myself even more of a challenge by making to try and make two identical winged liners with two different products. I really like a challenge. Okay, so this one isn't fully opaque either over the sparkles, so you're gonna have to paint that more than once, without a doubt. There's tons of sparkles coming through. Okay, so here's what I think of each of these products. The eyeliner pen on this side, it's definitely black. It pulls the skin. It didn't fully cover the sparkles on my eye, but it covered it better than the E.L.F. liquid eyeliner that's on my left. This was easier to get a precise point for my winged liner, but it definitely didn't cover the sparkles really at all. I had to go over it multiple times, and there's still some sparkles showing. But over both of them, over just plain eyeshadow, did a great job being very black. So I don't think that they're the best I've ever used, but I definitely don't think they're the worst. So I would recommend them. So I have two different types of primers that I'm going to use today. I have a mineral infused face primer, like a pump, and then I have the luminous putty primer, which it seems like everybody seems to love. I actually have two that I'm going to use today because when I was at the store buying like the E.L.F. products that I didn't have, I totally forgot that I did have a primer. So I said, well, I'll just do half and half so I can use both products. So I'm going to take up the pump. Am I getting out? All right, and it looks like this. It says, apply to clean skin prior to makeup application. Use a small amount and blend evenly over the face. All right, I'm going to use this on this side. I'm going to just use my fingers. It definitely has like a silicone feel, but I honestly like a silicone feel because I feel like it really fills in my pores. And I have a problem with larger pores over here, and they always seem to show through when I put on my foundation. Oh yeah, I have this lovely little pimple on my nose. Awesome. Right in time for filming. On my left side, I'm going to use the Luminous Putty Primer. I'm also going to use my finger for that. It's definitely thick. Thick with 3 C's, sis. Woo! So it is a putty. Anything in a pot like that is going to be thicker. So I'm going to blend it in with my fingers too. Because why not? She is thick. She is priming though. She is looking good. As far as the feel, I prefer the pump, the mineral infused face primer, because I like the silicone feel. I know some people don't, but I do. All right. Next, we're gonna move on to foundation. I have the E.L.F. Flawless Finish foundation. It says oil-free satin finish. Comes in this cute little glass bottle. I've actually never used this foundation before either, so we're starting something new. And I'll let you know if I'm going to use it again. I also have the E.L.F. sponge, another favorite. I'm actually going to go wet it, so then this is how it looks before it's wet. And this is how it looks after you wet it. Mine's a little dirty, but it actually pretty much doubles in size, and it really is amazing to put foundation on. So the shade that I got does look a little bit pale, but I'm not realizing that it's summertime and I might get a little tan. So I did get shade Vanilla, but next time I think I might go a little darker. I also really have a hard time. I think I'm much lighter than I am, and this has been a reoccurring problem with me. I buy a very light foundation thinking that I'm definitely that color, and then I come home and I look like Flashback Mary. Next, I'm going to use the Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is also a satin finish. Let's see. So I have 2 different shades. I have Fair Warm and Light Beige. Light Beige is more of my skin tone, and Fair Warm is very light, but I am going to use a combination of both under my eyes. And I do want to say one thing about this concealer. I don't even have to use a setting powder with this concealer. It is, like, I've used this many, many times, and the way that it just sets onto your face but doesn't crack and doesn't crease is incredible. It's my favorite. Next, I'm going to use a bronzer from the St. Lucia Duo. I've used this before. It's definitely not matte in any way. It has, well, I lied. It's matte. And it actually looks really nice. And I have used it before. I really try and keep just to the corner of my face, like I said before. Because anytime I bring it down, I just have, my cheeks have a tendency to look muddy. So I'm just concentrating it like towards my temples, kind of in the corner over here. And then I will kind of help blend it in with my blush. You know, and if you ever put on too much product or you feel like you went too high, there is no shame in just grabbing your beauty blender well, it's not a beauty blender, the E.L.F. sponge, and just blending it in a little more. And I'm also going to use the blush in that same duo. It's actually just like really, really light. It has coral and little gold reflex in it. And it's really pretty. I put those on the apples on the cheeks. It has like a nice light flush. I do want it to be a little more pinky to kind of match the cool tones on my eyes. So I do think I'm going to take this pink blush from E.L.F., $3 in color Blushing. And also put that on the cheek. Lately, all I've seen is YouTubers being like obsessed with blush. They put it on their cheeks, they put it on their nose, they put it on their forehead. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some days I do the same thing, but not today. But I am going to put a little bronzer on my nose. I can do a video about contouring the nose. I mean, my nose is probably the most difficult to contour because it's so asymmetrical. But if you have an asymmetrical nose and you really want to know what I do to contour it, on the days that I do contour it, because I'm not going to say that I do it every day, because I don't. You know, I really think that you should love yourself, honey. Just like I do. As far as lips go, I was really only able to find a few products in store, but I already did have this lip pencil in natural. Like it's like, well, it's like a sort of like a pencil, but kind of like a liner, kind of like a lipstick. So I'm going to put that on first. Oh yeah, it's really natural. You can't even tell. It's the exact color of my lip. I'm gonna put it all over. It's pretty creamy. Pretty nice looking, but very natural. And I did want to do a little bit of a glam. So I have the liquid matte lipstick in color Blushing Rose. And they have, I've never used this product before, but look at this cool applicator that it has. I've never seen a lipstick like that. Have you? It's a little darker, so I'm just going to put it along the edges of my lip to blend it in with the natural colored little stick I used. This feels gorgeous. This looks gorgeous. I have to say, I'm a fan, 100%. Love it. To finish off my lip, I'm going to take the same glitter eyeshadows, little, I don't know what to call this thing. I'll look it up. So I put it on the Cupid's bow because I just like to have an extra glittery moment. I do have a highlighter palette, and I've had it for a while, a long time. I don't feel like it really highlights much, but we're gonna try it. In order to get the highlight to stay or to show up a little more, I'm going to use their Illuminating Mist and Set. Ooh, smells terrible. Sorry, just being honest. But I am going to use their little quad. 4 is quad, right? Yeah. So I'm going to use their little quad here. Not a lot to choose from. Not super shiny. Not the kind of highlighters that I'm used to. All right. I guess I'll start with like the pinky shade on the right. I don't really have any names on them. Oof. Let's see. Okay. Highlighter is on. Do you see anything? I don't. Now I'm going to use the lighter shade. Do you see anything? A little bit. All right, but this is a very like glow from within type of highlighter. This isn't like sparkly, gonna like really blind somebody. It's kind of like almost like something you would wear for if you were taking wedding pictures. So I did spray the brush so that I could get something. Yeah, I'm gonna put just pounds of it on just so I can get a little something out of that. I mean, it's pretty. It definitely, like I said, it doesn't give that glitter effect, but if you don't want that glitter effect, then this is perfect. So we are really starting to look cute and full glam like I promised. I'm gonna use the E.L.F. Length and Volume mascara in black to kind of finish off to finish off this look. It has a shorter brush. I've never used this before. It has a shorter brush, which I feel like it's kind of nice to do precise placement without getting it everywhere. I'm really not mad at it. I don't feel like it's doing too much, but it's not making it clumpy, I will say that. All right, it's time for me to wrap up this video. I feel beautiful, and I achieved this look using all E.L.F. products, which you can get at the drugstore. They also have tons of stuff online. The only things that I would say I wouldn't fully recommend from what I used today would be the eyeliners. They're just not my favorite. I wouldn't go back for them again. That's better. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for listening to me for 20 minutes. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, just put them in the comment below. And if you want to see how I contour my nose, then also comment below and I will gladly make a video explaining that.